Here at Thomas Concrete, we produce concrete out of two types of concrete plants. This is a dry batch plant. Dry batch plants produce concrete by weighing up all of the ingredients necessary to make a specific mix of concrete and transferring those ingredients into a concrete mixer truck. The truck then mixes the material together in order to make a batch of concrete. With this process, the concrete delivery professional is responsible for washing down the truck and slumping the load. Being careful not to compromise the integrity of the product, the concrete delivery professional makes sure that the specified slump of the concrete is acquired. This is a central mixed batch plant. In this plant, all materials are conveyed into a large drum where the concrete is mixed before being transferred into the concrete mixer truck. In this process, the concrete is ready to go and there is minimal slumping necessary. In either case, the concrete delivery professional is the last person to see the load. If there are any concerns about the load, they can notify the proper personnel. A plant manager or technical service specialist will be available if needed. What is slump? Slump is the measure of consistency of fresh concrete before it sets. It is performed to check the workability of freshly made concrete. It can also be used as an indicator of an improperly mixed batch. A slump cone base, tamping rod, scoop, and a tape measure are all tools necessary to perform a slump test correctly. And remember, all tools should be moistened. And be sure to remix the concrete sample thoroughly to ensure good test. Fill the cone in 3 lifts, rodding each lift 25 times through its depth. Do not tap the cone. The second and third lifts should be penetrated approximately 1 inch into the previous layer. Each lift should fill the cone a third of its volume. After rodding the final lift, screed the material from the top of the mold and clear any excess concrete from the base of the cone. Pull the cone straight up, being mindful not to twist or tilt the cone as you do. This step in the test should take anywhere from 3 to 7 seconds. Invert the cone and place it on the base, being careful not to disturb the concrete being tested. Measure from the top of the cone to the displaced center of the concrete. The results are recorded to the nearest 1/4 inch. Let's take a look at a few more examples of concrete and discuss the slump of each one. In the lab, we've put together a test batch to show you some things to keep in mind when it comes to slump. This particular batch looks pretty tight. Can you guess what slump this concrete is on? If you said 2 inches, you were right. Mixes with the 2 inch or less spec for slump can be used for multiple applications, such as barrier wall, slip form paving, and hand curb. Let's take a look at a 5 inch slump. Pay attention to how it flows. A 5 inch slump can be used for such applications as pouring a slab on grade off of the chute, and it can also be used in a pump. Now let's go back to the lab and take a look at that 2 inch slump again. This time, we'll add what is equivalent to about 12 ounces of 2100 and about 5 gallons of water. Look closely at how the concrete's consistency and texture changes. Look at the difference in the slump. When there's super plasticizer involved, things can get wet pretty quickly. Can you guess what slump this concrete is on now? If you said 7 inches, you were correct. 7-inch slumps can be used for such applications as pumping long distances to a post-tension slab, or pumping concrete to an elevated location. Let's take a quick look at pervious concrete, which allows water from precipitation to flow directly through the surface, reducing runoff and allowing groundwater recharge. This mix has less of a slump and more of a texture, something similar to a Rice Krispie treat. As you can see, slump is critical when it comes to concrete, and it is imperative that we deliver every load with the Slump in spec. Here at Thomas, we don't just provide our customers with concrete, we provide them with excellent service and the peace of mind that they're getting a quality product from the concrete specialist.